come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Welcome back to Banging the Can, the Houston sports show that does not apologize for championship rings and tings, presented by Bolen Media. I am Ross Bolen, and the Houston Astros absolutely own the Los Angeles Dodgers. Over the long weekend, the Astros swept their series against the star-studded Dodgers, outscoring Los Angeles 29-6 over 3 games to improve to a record of 55 wins and 35 losses, a season-best 20 games over 500, and it was glorious. Glorious. Game 1 on the 4th of July was maybe the most enjoyable Astros win since Game 6 of the 2022 World Series. This was a truly orgasmic beatdown of epic proportions, a surreal shellacking, a true trouncing, a solid spanking, 18-1 pounding of the team that at the time had the best record in all of baseball. This was the worst loss for LA in the history of Dodgers Stadium since it opened in 1962. 1962. It was the Dodgers' worst home loss since 1947 when they played in Brooklyn. They weren't even in LA yet. Historic. All on the 4th of July, baby. God bless America, land of the Astros. Lance McCullers Jr. started this series on the bump for the Stros, and I have to say, a lot of people were ready to bury Lance after he managed to secure only 10 outs while giving up 8 earned runs in his first start back from foot injury against the Cubs. I wasn't one of those people. Those people were foolish. Those people were wrong. Here's the thing to remember if you were one of those people. Lance is a gamer. Lance doesn't like losing. Lance is a psychotic competitor. When he takes an L, he uses that L to fuel himself and come back stronger. And that's what he did here in the first game of this series. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, incredibly solid outing. Now, because we were up by 17 runs by the 6th inning, it put Espada in a position where he didn't have to burn any valuable bullpen dudes. So Jason Alexander closed out the final 3 innings and did not surrender a run. Talk about setting the fucking tone in a 3-game series. And again, remember, no Yordan Alvarez, no Jeremy Pena, arguably our 2 best offensive players. We're running out a bunch of minor league dudes that most of our own fans haven't even heard of, and still. By the way, Dodgers commentator Orel Hershiser, who I admired greatly when I was a young pitcher coming up through Memorial Ashford Little League, Dodgers commentator Orel Hershiser stopped just short of accusing the Astros of stealing signs again when the Astros were only up 4-1 in the 3rd inning. Hershiser said, quote, "I don't want to open an old wound, but in some ways they're swinging at these breaking balls like they know what is coming." The Astros went on to score 14 more runs after that comment. Whoops. Suck our dicks, kiss the rings, Orel. Isaac Paredes homered in the first. Jose Altuve homered in the 3rd and the 6th. Christian Walker homered in the 3rd. Victor Caratini homered in the 6th. Now, the very, very best part of this 18-1 destruction of the Dodgers is that because it was on July 4th, Dodgers fans that attended the game at Dodger Stadium had to stay the entire 9 innings and sit and watch the Astros' proverbial fireworks if they wanted to watch the literal 4th of July fireworks in the sky after the game. So normally, when there's this type of ass kicking, the fans head for the exits relatively early to try to go enjoy the rest of their evening. Not so in this case, because these people specifically went to Dodger Stadium to celebrate the 4th of July and had to sit there on their sad asses and wait for this entire fucking thing to be over, during which we scored 18 runs and they only scored 1, just so they could see some fireworks in the sky after the game, which made it just all the more sweet. Priceless fatality. Framber Valdez was on the mound for Game 2 Saturday, went 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, looked a little frustrated at times. I Thought the wheels were going to come off for Framber there at a couple different moments, but altogether, Framber held it down. Ohtani threw 2 innings for the Dodgers, struck out 3, and only gave up 1 hit, but because Shohei is still working his way back from injury, they pulled him, and the Astros immediately scored 4 runs in the third thanks to a 2 RBI double from Zach Short, who nobody even knew was on our team, another RBI from Cam Smith, and another one from Christian Walker. Zach Short, shout out to Zach Short, another example of the Astros just plucking random players from minor league obscurity, plugging them into the lineup, and immediately turning them into producers. I literally went, who the hell is that guy, when he drove in that run? I had no idea what was going on. 2 RBI double, 2 runs. I didn't know who the fuck he was. Zach Short, shouts to him. Sousa got the Astros through the 7th without giving up a run. Abreu came in and got 2 outs in the 8th. Then Hader closed out the 8th and the 9th without yielding a run. All our starting pitchers have to do is eat 6 innings and keep it close. That's it. That's it. Because we're going to absolutely destroy people with this bullpen. It is deep, it is scary, and it is very rarely conceding any runs. This is enormous. Obviously, it is leading to a lot of regular season wins, but in the postseason in particular, so valuable to have this kind of arm talent in your bullpen, and it is paying off. By the time Game 3 rolled around, it felt like we were playing with house money. I honestly didn't even really care what happened in the game on Sunday because we had already won the series, and we had already won one of those 2 first games by 17 runs. So, didn't really care. Was just happy to be there. Just wanted to enjoy some baseball on a nice Sunday afternoon. But they got another win. Ryan Gusto threw 6 innings, surrendered only 1 run. Sousa threw a scoreless inning. King threw a scoreless inning. Abreu threw a scoreless inning. 5-1 win. Clean sweep. Total domination. Aside from the Game 1 drumming, the other incredible part of this series was Jose Altuve continuing to completely own the Dodgers and their fans, who, as much as we get booed in every stadium around the country, there is nowhere that boos as frequently as Dodger Stadium. There are no fans who dislike us quite the way Los Angeles Dodgers fans do, as a result of that 2017 World Series loss to our Houston Astros. And they fucking hate Jose Altuve. These people hate Jose, which made it so sweet when in this 3-game series, Jose Altuve went 6 for 11, hit 3 ding-dongs, and accumulated 7 RBIs. He also made a few stellar defensive plays at second base, which was awesome to see, but it felt like I was in a time machine. I am telling you, the boos fuel Jose Altuve. He eats Dodgers fans' boos for breakfast. Altuve, the GOAT. Incredible. Amazing stuff. Also had no idea Christian Walker was a Dodger killer. Loved seeing that. Guy's been mostly ineffective offensively throughout large stretches of the regular season thus far. And yet, he was on fire in Dodger Stadium. I wish we could play every game there. I wish we could play every game at Dodger Stadium. That's how I feel right now. That's absurd. Absurd. Astros pitching held Shohei Ohtani to 1 for 11 with 2 walks. No runs scored. No RBIs. Sad. Very unfair. So after all that fun, the Astros maintain a 7-game lead over the AL West with a 55-35 record, 1.5 games back of the best record in all of baseball. Shouts to Mariners fans, by the way, who I believe won all 3 games in their series this weekend as well, and did not gain even a single inch on the Astros in the division.
Please clap.
Today's show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Pick'em game. Underdog is a leading place to make all your sports picks, and you can play now in your state. Their app has over 100,000 5-star reviews and millions of players to play. All you have to do is download the Underdog app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. I'm going to share my picks or my plays with you for tonight's Astros game in a moment, so hold your horses. If you get your picks correct, you could win up to 1,000 times your money, so you could turn $1 into $1,000 using just your baseball knowledge. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. The Astros start their 3-game series against the Cleveland Guardians tonight, so what I like to do is go into the Underdog app, click the MLB button, scroll over to Astros versus Guardians, and make plays on our specific game since I'm going to be watching it. It makes it a little bit more fun. So tonight, I am liking Jose Altuve, higher than 1.5 total bases. Obviously, going higher with Jose right now. He's on fire. I think he rides that Dodgers momentum into this Cleveland Guardians series. Colton Gordon, higher than 4.5 strikeouts. Guardians pitcher Tanner Bibby, lower than 5.5 strikeouts, and Isaac Paredes, higher than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. $10 play for a chance at $71. Boom, lock it in. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BTC to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code BTC on the Underdog app. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. So, just to recap quickly, briefly, that nine-game road trip against the 3 division leaders in the National League, which is supposed to be the superior league in baseball this season. The Astros went 8-1 against the Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago Cubs, and Los Angeles Dodgers, with the only loss resulting from Lance McCullers Jr. blowing up in his first game back from injury. 8-1 against the best of the NL. So much for National League dominance. Suck our dicks, kiss the rings. In other exciting news, guess who's back? Back again. Hector's back. Tell a friend. Hector Neris is once again in an Astros jersey for his 3rd stint with the team. I don't know why the rest of baseball just keeps letting us do this shit. I don't know. That's one of my questions at this point. We're just pulling dudes in every year. This is the 3rd fucking time with Hector. I guess if it's starting to feel like 2022, you do everything you can to harness those vibes, and Neris was a key piece of relief during that World Series winning run, so why not? Why not? But I just don't understand where these guys are coming from. Zach Short, who the hell is that? Where the hell did he come from? I don't know, but he's here now, and he's doing his thing, and you gotta love it. Big Hector Neris fan here, huge fan. Love me a fiery pitcher coming in relief. I still don't quite understand what the hell I saw that Julio Rodriguez clip circulating again when Hector struck out Julio and then looked like he wanted to fight him, walked towards him and talked a bunch of shit to him. Never seen a pitcher do that before, by the way, and although I'm sure it's happened. I like that energy, though. I like potentially demented relief pitchers. I enjoy that. And I like some fire. This team, by and large, are quiet guys who keep their heads down, do their jobs, and get it done. They follow the Jose Altuve formula, right? That's the way the Stros have been for the bulk majority of this past decade, okay? So every once in a while, when we get one of these dudes that's a little unhinged like Hector Neris, I like adding some spice to the chili, you know? I want a little kick to my shit. He is the spice. He is the kick. Obviously yet to be determined how much he'll even play. He didn't throw a single inning in this Dodgers series, of which he was available during games 2 and 3. They sent Jason Alexander back down to Sugar Land in a coinciding move. So we'll see how much run Hector actually gets, but I just like having him out there. I just like having him in the bullpen. I like seeing him. I like seeing his face. Brings me joy. So Hector Neris, welcome back yet again. So what's next? Tonight, the Astros start a 3-game home series against the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians are a 40-win team, sitting 15.5 games back of the Detroit Tigers in the AL Central. Colton Gordon scheduled to start Game 1, Hunter Brown Game 2, Brandon Walter Game 3. Let's go get 3 more wins, shall we? Why not? Why not? I would note, if you're a more casual Astros fan who's just joining us here on the channel or on the show today, and you're hearing names that you don't recognize, like Zach Short, I encourage you to start paying closer attention because we're past the halfway point of the season now. You may not know 2 of the 3 pitchers who are starting for us in this Guardians series, for example. If you don't know Colton Gordon, you don't know Brandon Walter, it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in. They're doing the thing. This is heavy. The most momentum we've had as a franchise since 2022 when we last won the World Series, okay? But they are back to playing a brand of baseball that is extremely fun. And one of the things you love to see when you watch the Astros, that the haters absolutely hate to see, is how much fun these guys have on the field. When you watch a team like the Yankees, or even the Arlington Rangers or the Los Angeles Dodgers, where they've run up a payroll of like $350 million or whatever, they're outspending everybody in the league, particularly the Dodgers and the Yankees, not so much Arlington. But it's just, they look like they've got their own all-star team, There doesn't seem to be a lot of camaraderie. There's not a lot of personality to the team. It's just a bunch of individuals. Whereas with the Astros, the clubhouse culture they've created is cohesive. It is a team. It is a unit where everyone's on the same page, and these guys actually care about each other and love each other and spend time with each other and have relationships with each other and get to know each other on a personal level. They're not just going to work, going through the motions, and going home, which is what it feels like a lot of the time when you watch the Dodgers, for example, who are obviously a very, very, very good baseball team, but by and large, not because they are the sum of all their parts. It's because they have all these individual parts that are, perennial all-stars. So it makes watching the Astros just that much more fun when some of the other quote-unquote best teams in baseball don't seem like they're having all that much fun when they're on the field together, even when they're winning. And the Astros look like they're having fun even when they're losing, which is not often lately, by the way. What are we, like 8-2 over our last 10 or something like that? Just an absurd stretch here for the Stros. This stretch, that 8-1 stretch against the Phillies, Cubs, and Dodgers, this has felt so good. This has been so fun for us as fans, and it's exponentially more fun because it seems like those guys are having so much fun out there on the field themselves. In quick Rockets news, the trade for Kevin Durant and Clint Capella, the first 7-team trade in NBA history, I would note, became official on Sunday, so that's done and dusted. Welcome to the Rockets, Kevin Durant. Very stoked to see Kade in a Rockets jersey. Cannot wait for this next season of NBA basketball. This is going to be a really fun one. Welcome back, Clint Capella, as well. Didn't see that one coming, but I love me some Clint Capella, always did. Big fan of the guy. Was sad to see him go when he left for Atlanta. Now we're getting him back. I would note, Clint didn't seem like he did a whole hell of a lot of growing in Atlanta, which was kind of what we all, at least Rockets fans who paid attention to him, thought would happen. Like, oh, well, now Clint gets to go take the next step and continue to develop. But he's another big center we can use in there. Obviously, I think we're 3 big men deep at this point. So it's good to have depth. I love Clint Capella. Welcome back, Clint. In closing, this Astros series against the Dodgers felt even more special because we desperately needed some positivity in Texas this weekend. Central Texas was devastated by terrible flooding. Our thoughts are with everyone in Kerr County in particular, but several Houston families lost members as well. Children, just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. If you are in a position to help, I will be posting places you can send resources on our social media at Banging the Can on Instagram and our stories, and on Twitter at Banging the Can in the coming days. If you are in a position to help, I encourage you to do so. It's going to be a long road to recovery for a lot of these folks and a lot of these families in Central Texas who lost everything. And, obviously, as Texans, we want to help out however we can. Obviously, in Houston, we're very, very familiar, all too familiar with the effects of devastating flooding. And I think it makes it that much more important for us to step up when the time comes and someone else is in need. So if you're able to do something, do something. That will do it for today's show. Remember, we have new episodes dropping every Monday and Friday. If you're on youtube.com/@bangingthecan watching me talk right now, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Tell your friends and family about the most unapologetic sports show in Houston. Do it. Share it at Banging the Can on Twitter, at Banging the Can on Instagram, at Banging the Can on TikTok, at Banging the Can on Threads, at Banging the Can everywhere. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I encourage you, go to youtube.com/@bangingthecan and subscribe. It's a visual show. There are things to see. I'm up here waving my hands around, yelling and shit. Producer Kade gives us some beautiful graphics and photos, and there's a little rundown on the side of the screen so you can see what I'm going to be talking about, what I'm currently talking about. It's good shit. youtube.com/@bangingthecan. Support our sponsors. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BTC to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code BTC on the Underdog Fantasy app. Terms apply. See details. Check out Bolen Media's other programming. If you're an F1 fan, we have the best American-made F1 show in existence, Formula Bone. Formula B-O-N-E, Formula Bone, available wherever you are watching or listening to Banging the Can. Jared J-Bone Borislow, the host of Formula Bone, gives you a preview and a recap of all the races, all F1 season long, all the best F1 content you could possibly handle right there at Formula Bone. youtube.com/@FormulaBone. Go subscribe. Follow @FormulaBone on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter. Get a whole bunch of content. If you love F1, you will love Formula Bone. For more from me, check out the Ross Bolen podcast. And if you are a fan of the TV, of watching television shows, check out my other show, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, hosted by me with my dear friend of over 20 years, Mr. Barrett Dudley. We grew up in Houston, Texas together, both born and bred. Huge Houston Astros fan as well. On Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, we cover the latest and greatest in all of TV episodically most of the time. Right now, we are covering The Bear Season 4 and having a lot of fun doing it. If you're watching The Bear, check out Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. I'm Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolen, WRBOLEN on Instagram and Twitter. I will be back on Friday. Until next time, H-Town, stay down.